powered by EZJobs.
Local part-time seasonal jobs.
While these admission scandals are shocking to hear, there are some questions that definitely come about. Colleges and universities in America often have very set criteria for who they want to admit. Usually, they even have an idea before they open the application. Do you think the requirements for attending a university should change?
No, I think college is hard enough to get into. I just think that they need to tighten up the process a little bit, I guess, if there are loopholes.
Yeah, admission's definitely hard already, like with all your testing and essays.
I feel like it's already pretty hard, so they should just make it more fair for everyone.
I feel like it's getting harder.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, every year it's getting harder.
I mean, but do you think there should be a shift in the process to maybe make it easier to get into a university? Or should it still be the same criteria? Or should there be something more fair?
I definitely feel like my high school did not help me personally as much with getting myself, not in terms of like challenging myself, but in terms of like getting myself like set and like going through the admissions process with me. So I definitely feel like if high school's more active, that might make the process like a little less demanding for people. I feel like it should go more hand in hand with I feel like they're very separate, like high school and college, and they should be very much more merged together.
Yeah, I agree with that because like my counselor didn't necessarily like help me, and like looking back, like knowing what college is about, I definitely would have like honed in on it more, but I didn't really know what I was doing.
No tea, no shade.
Yeah, my guidance counselor didn't do much either. It was like basically you were just on your own.
A lot of the time, the system is seen to be broken. So let's take a look at this short clip.
One major academic study released in early 2018 looked at hella student admission data from 28 test-optional schools across the U.S., ranging from small liberal arts schools to large public universities. The data was then compared to that of similar schools that still require the test. The report concluded that 1, high school grades are better than tests at predicting how well students will do in college. 2, schools that were test optional generally saw a big boost in the number of applicants from underrepresented communities, especially low-income students of color. And 3, students who chose to submit their scores and those who didn't had virtually the same grades and graduation rates in college. Now don't get me wrong here, it's not like the SATs and the ACTs are going away anytime soon, not even close.
Since one exam has no way of defining our capabilities, should we eliminate standardized admission test?
I say yes. They
Yeah.
were so hard to study for, and I didn't do good on them. And like a lot of schools
I feel like
look
that
at
doesn't
your
like define your entire high school
Yeah.
career.
yeah, like a lot of schools like look specifically at that, and like that doesn't tell like much of how I am as a student. So I felt like, I don't know, it's kind of like a disadvantage.
Personally, I have never been a strong standardized test taker, and I think that mine and many other individuals' capabilities cannot be exemplified by these tests. Do you think that there are any other solutions to the admissions process? Is there something that we could do that would make the admissions process more ideal?
So a lot of schools are test optional now. It's kind of like a new like trend among a lot of little private schools. So being able to have the option to use the SAT to your advantage if you did do well, but like not having to if you didn't do well is nice.
Yeah, I read that there are around 1/3 of the universities and colleges are making it as an optional.
Yeah, where I went to school, it was test optional, and I actually didn't submit my SAT score.
Some of the schools I applied to were optional for test taking.
How should admission boards factor in the nerves and anxieties that often come along with test taking? How much do you think our mindset affects our test taking abilities?
Personally, I'd say a lot. I get super like stressed out and anxious, and there's a lot of pressure on those tests. So the pressure to do good is a lot.
Is the pressure from the peers, or is it pressure from the parents, or in general pressure of taking the test?
Yeah, definitely just like taking the test, because like that test determines like kind of your future in a sense, because some schools like really like
Like, you could have a really good GPA, but if you don't do good on the SAT or ACT, then it's probably harder for you to get into college.
Yeah, a lot of schools look at the SAT more than anything. So that's like kind of just, I don't know, there's just like a lot of pressure on the whole process. So all of it, parents, teachers, everything.
Do you think if you
Scary.
were to take an SAT or an ACT or any standardized test at your own leisure without peers around you or a proctor watching over you, do you think your score would be much different?
I think it would, because like the pressure of like the time and like them like checking up on you and like everyone around you, it's just like you don't really want to be there in the moment. You just wish it was like over with. So I think if it was like on your own time, it'd be like so much more calming.
There's already loopholes to like the way that we take these tests kind of monitored. So if we're taking it at our own leisure, like,
People can.
yeah, you just don't know what people are going to do. I just think these tests should just be
And it's such a
optional.
long test, too.
Yeah.
So, if you were aware that one of your classmates was involved in an admission scandal due to their parents, how would you react? Or how should the individuals react? How should peers around them react? And what should the overall verdict be of that if you were to find this out?
I think, again, it depends on the situation for each person. I think people come from different places and in different family situations. Some of the parents should be the ones responsible, and I don't know. I think it just depends on each different case.
So would you condemn, empathize, or sympathize with them?
I think I would just be shocked. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I would feel bad for them because obviously they're already going through that on their own. So for everyone else to react.
What do you think such individuals should do?
I mean, I think it's right for the schools to kick the children out of school. Like, I think that there should definitely be a strict consequence for that. But, I mean, in terms of just, like, the whole, like, Lori, like, Olivia Jade situation, someone like Olivia who, like, has a career for herself, I do, like, sympathize where this whole thing is going to affect the rest of her life. I don't really sympathize with the whole admissions process at all.
Yeah.
like, and her reputation too. Like, the daughter Olivia is a YouTuber, and she has like millions of people watching her. And now, like, I definitely think like her viewers will, look at her like different or something.
I just feel bad for her because I feel like she like built like her whole like life up with like all of her viewers and stuff, and now from one thing it's just like all gone.
But if you don't rightfully get into college, you're kind of a liar.
I think it's more so the parents.
Yeah.
I don't think it's right by any means, but I think that the parents are more responsible for this, and the media is just putting the children in the middle of it.
That brings us to the end of our segment today. Thanks so much to Megan, Alexis, and Alana for being here with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It was so great to have you all here today. We'll be back next week for another exciting episode of The Voice of Students, powered by EZJobs, local part-time seasonal jobs.